Okay. Hello all. Just a fair warning. I might say some bad words. If you're not okay with me saying fuck, shit, and everything else, you're free to leave. Come on. That's me. I'm Vangelis Stykas. I'm the CTO of a penetration testing firm, etc., etc. I'm not here to pitch shit. My research interests are API for IoT and lately C2 for malware, ransomware, and APTs. We have done a lot of research and a lot of work for APTs lately. I also really like talking on BSides, DEF CON, and other conferences. That was one of my best joke tweets that anyone made for me. It was a mix of fun and cursing. I curse a lot. I already warned you. I'm the ultimate uninvited admins on malware panels, ransomware panels, and pretty much every criminal panel. The year before last, DEF CON was on malware C2. If you haven't seen it, it was a pretty cool talk. I took admin in a lot of malware / stealers. I wanted a bigger challenge. Could it be any harder? The three guys on the bottom, drop them a follow. It's Solfer Iskuri, it's Charles Misihara. All of them are DEF CON talkers. We have a really closed signal group, which usually we tend to mock each other about what we should do. Marcus Hutchins summarized pretty cool the CTI. CTI is such a wild industry. In regular intelligence, everything is a monopoly from the government, whereas in CTI, it's just some dude named Brad who got really baked one night and YOLO'd his way into a major APT. I'm not Brad, I'm Vangelis. I'm not doing drugs, but I did get into enough major APTs lately. This is a comparison of how it went. On the malware, I got admin of 18 of 36. On ransomware, I got 3.5 out of 140, which is ridiculously low, but they have money, so they care about their security. If you don't know what ransomware is, Google it. I'm not gonna read what ransomware is. It's when they crypt your fucking files. Quick intro, malware how the ransomware that I said works. It's distributed, it then connects back to a command and control server, they move laterally, they extract your data, they encrypt your data, then they extort you, and then you resolve it. Either you pay them or you have, I don't know, some kind of backup, or you start fresh because, I don't know, you like pain. No, I said that. It's the fastest growing type of cybercrime. This slide seems like I'm promoting them. I fucking hate them, but they're good at that they're doing. Payout hit 1.4 in 2024. Highly professional industry. I hate them, but they are professional. Seems that boundaries are falling off after the whole issue with ransomware that happened on the gas on the US. WannaCry opened the can of worms. Again, I hate them, but they're highly hierarchical. They have a clear structure, so we're going to see later that they do stuff as they want. They have a tech park. They have ransom negotiators and customer support. They have money launderers, which are really good at what they're doing, and payment processing, and they are looking for collaboration and partnership. The tech part, they have malware developers who are really good at what they're doing. They have exploitation for possible 0-day, which is really unlikely, and day developers, data theft and leaks, operational security, and infrastructure and hosting. And they have really good infrastructure, because imagine the scenario that you have popped somehow a huge company, and your infrastructure could handle the backup of that. So you as the ransomware owner could lose a lot, and I mean in the millions of money. The models is how it was 3 to 4 years ago. Right now it's only RAS. We used to have lone wolves. I had the joy of meeting one of them. Some of them have switched to initial access brokers and the all-in-one ransomware groups that are falling down to ransomware as a service. Ransomware as a service, this is how they get paid. It's either a flat monthly fee, which is the typical stuff, affiliate program with a monthly % of the profits, one-time license. Don't ask, this is not as a service, but they don't understand capitalism, I guess. Pure profit sharing, payments made to the RAS, and the Lockbit, Black Cat, and Clop were the most well-known ones. Can you tell me why that guy is the hacker? Anyone? He's wearing a hoodie. So, as you know, if you don't wear a hoodie, you are not a hacker. I'm not a hacker. I'm a malakas, and move on. User cloud, this is how the C2 server, and this is my only try of using anything that mimics graphic. How they extort, they establish communication with victims, they lay their terms, they extort victims in multiple ways. Ransom on data, they extort that they are going to release their data. They are DDoSing with knowledge obtained from the data. And this is, for the past 16 months, what we are seeing as their fourth way of extorting. They're communicating with customers, they're communicating with stakeholders, or they're communicating with the government saying that, did that company reported that it was hacked because they got hacked, which is scary. So let's set some goals on what we are going to do in this talk. Identify the C2s, try to find vulnerabilities, identify people behind them, try to disrupt the panels, do not disturb any active LEA investigation, and I cannot stress that enough. Don't be a malakas, and don't get vanned. And by vanned, I mean don't end up into one of those vans that are always in Vegas. This was a joke that I've been doing for the past 3 years. I was expecting someone to attack me and everything, but this was not the attack that happened. Believe me, if you wake up and you see that government-backed attackers may be trying to steal your password from Gmail, you sit your bounds. It's really, really scary. And then you get that email like a week afterwards from Apple saying state-sponsored attackers may be targeting your iPhone. So someone tried to burn 20 days to get my emails, and I say that to the camera. If you want to burn 1 million on your for 0 days for access to my device, I will delete my photos from my kids and I will sell it to you for half the price. Because I don't have anything to hide. So at least he tried. He didn't get access, so that's that. How did I identify panels? Those are the three sites that I was using: Ransomware.io, Ransomware Live, a really good deep dark CTI, and a lot of doom scrolling on Twitter. And I had to explain to my wife why I'm always on Twitter reading, really dark shit. The limitations. The C2 have a really terribly small lifetime. Usually it's 24 to 48 hours. If we are lucky, we could have up to a week. Data leak sites are really looked after, and data leaks are behind Tor and Onion, which means we have an extra step to pass through. My methodology. I'm going to ignore malware distribution and reversing because, one, I'm a moron. I don't understand reversing. I'm a simpleton. I'm a web application guy. Run the malware in the sandbox, extract all URLs, use data leak URLs found via CTI, and try to exploit the URLs. And what I'm going to provide you is the Toyota Corolla of penetration testing, also known as as a web application penetration testing. So, Deer Search, I love Deer Search, Burp Suite, the trifecta of Tor browser, Tor socks, and Tor, Coffee, AnyRun to run it, several droplets on DigitalOcean, Sodan.io and Senses, and when I say coffee, I mean a lot of coffee. So what we are going to do in here is black box web app testing, use any acquired information for furthering my attacks, interact with the data leak and chat, and intentionally infect Sandbox to get a ticket. And by ticket, we're going to see what we mean. Unfortunately, DIRS and FFUF provide really small stuff, so I had to move to manually check all of them. 5 of them were WordPress, because, I don't know, that's internet. A couple of them were leaking IP addresses, so it meant that I could bypass the whole Tor and Onion, and some of them were cheeky. And by cheeky, I mean someone telling me to fuck off, someone telling me to do something else, and let's keep that just business, nothing personal. It's gonna get personal. And let's move into the actual research, much like Alice in Wonderland. First is Mallox, also known as Target Company, Fargo, and however this is pronounced. It's been around for 4 years, targets mostly Windows machines, exploits MS SQL, and by brute forcing SA accounts, and it has hundreds of victims. Come on. This was their data lake site and their chat site. And as we can see, we have to get a private key. So, yeah, I infected my sandbox. I went with my private key, and they say, we communicate only in English. Good for you, my Russian friend. I said, hello, can you see the reply in here? Because I'm a moron, I pressed it and saw it on Burp. It had Apache server status exposed, leaking URL server IP address, leaking tokens to check other people's messages. So I could check other people's messages just by the tokens, but I needed something more. Come on. As I said, I pressed the reply button. Can you guess where the issue is in here? The reply ID is an insecure direct object reference, which is easily enumerable. So it has an IDO reply ID, it had an incremental integer. So I would do what everyone did and wrote a Python script. ChatGPT wrote it. I'm not a Python developer, with a for loop. So one guy was the boss, which is pretty cheeky. I was on special K for a couple of days, so fuck off and do the work I'm paying you to do, and other messages that are not great and not a great employer. Panda, blah, 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 blah. So I was able to somehow get the decryptors for some people. The boss was sending them to their employees. This is my other try of working with Paint. Boss, Panda, Jessica, Malox, and Ismail, those are his employees. Unfortunately, I was too verbosy and too, I don't know, noisy. The chat was disabled, and the for loop and the IDOR was fixed. So I got internal knowledge of the team. I got some decryptors, and once the admin got up or, I don't know, stopped doing drugs, it was fixed. So, yeah. I wouldn't consider it a win, but I wouldn't consider it a lose. I did something, so I'm mediocre at that. Then it was Black Hat. First in 2021, Ransomware as a service, Rust-based. The Rust loader was researched by Bitdefender Lab by a guy that I don't remember his name, but it's on the next slide. Targeting Mac only, developed in Rust, C2 used on Black Hat malware. The name is Andrei Lapunceanu. He did a great work in reversing the whole thing and getting the CNC URLs. That's all that I want. I don't know about reversing shit. I'm a simpleton. I checked all the C2 URLs. One of them was online, but was just returning 404. Added in the loop of continuous scanning, and 2 days later, it downloaded the documentation. So I had a lot of Python scripts that are doing continuous stuff. One of them is just continuously running research on potentially malware stuff so that I could get something. And I got documentation, so I could get clients, set node, and everything else. And in here, the tasks. Unfortunately, the endpoints were not available, so I had to automate the check, do some ChatGPT, and put it in the loop and wait. And by wait, I mean wait for a long time for last loader server to come up. And at some point, it extracted 197 commands in 2 minutes on a 4-hour window, which meant that they were turning the C and C2 server online only when they had someone to exploit. And when you see this kind of shit, which is zip -r environment zip, it wasn't saying XXX environments, it said the company name. You have to switch to a mode that you don't really want. So I had to switch to notification mode. I identified 4 companies. All of them were cryptocurrency related. 2 of them were unicorns. I notified them. They acknowledged the issue. None of them was ransomed, so that's a win. What we got? We got all info and understood the lateral movement. We stopped the whole campaign. The 4 companies were not ransomed, and they took a really big financial hit. And just a couple of months, I think it was a month and a half after that, under increasing federal scrutiny, black hat ransomware gangs, pulse exits come on its way out. I'm not saying that I was the reason, but I think that I also did a great hit on that. So all in all, come on. No. Come on. Not bad. Okay? I'm gonna move here because after my DEF CON talk, they had a lot of phishing attempts against me. They targeted my wife, they targeted partners, they targeted colleagues, and they targeted my sons. For that, fuck you. Email, Instagram, Twitter, they created fake personas just to attract, to try to interact with my kids. Again, fuck you. Come on. Everest, active since late 2020. It says only high-profile targets. They pivoted to initial access brokers, then they pivoted to just data lake. They rated as highly sophisticated my multiple researchers. Spoiler alert, they're not. Can any of you guess what that website is? Come on. What? No? It's fucking WordPress. And as you can see from there, it's 553, which is outdated. Come on. 42 vulnerabilities identified. Unfortunately, none of them was really exploitable yet. We could see that they have PHP errors reporting on, it's on a Windows machine, and they have Vertrigo serve hosting. They also have directory listing, and they have that PHPMyAdmin. So I did what every hacker with a hoodie does. I Googled default login. So it says root and Vertigo. And I write root and Vertigo, and I fail. And I say, well, they obviously changed it. But I have, as I said, 2 sons. My smaller one really likes looking at my tabs and saying shit and complaining about stuff. And he says, well, Dad, who the fuck names his server Vertrigo? And I said, no, it's Vertigo. And he's like, no, I know how to read. It's Vertrigo. And then I read, and it has a fucking extra R, which means I should copy-paste it and not write it, but... Well, I created a new WordPress account, then created a cell. No, I didn't create a cell. I just found a fucking plugin that had a cell, uploaded the cell, ipconfig, this is their web page, I'm their administrator. As you might have guessed, this is an administrator, and yeah. They're probably Russians, as you might see. And their biggest crime is that they haven't paid for fucking WinRAR. They have gotten more than 9 million in ransom, and they didn't pay 40 fucking euros for WinRAR. What did we get? Database export, username extract, remote command execution on the server, got hold of all their onion secret keys, lots, and I mean lots of logs to analyze. That's not an overstatement, right? After the DEFCON talk, they changed the IP address. They did not change the login. Then they changed everything. They forgot to remove my web cell. They changed everything again, but... So after that, I gave pretty much the same talk in Prague. And I have decided to do a little demo in there. And someone hacked ransomware gang Everest Lakeside. If you remember the XOXO from Prague, that's the thing. I wanted to do the same demo today. But unfortunately, I don't have my computer, so we're going to do an XOXO from Tirana next year. Come on. Black Angels, that's the last one, emerged in 2022, high-profile targets, Babuk-based, and by Babuk-based I mean they are reusing the leaked Babuk source, Linux, ESXi focused. They received a record 75 million ransom. Rakesh Krishnan, one of the guys I really love, doom scrolling, exposed their IP. They had the exposed ENV, an app secret, which is in there, and an SQL, so they have an ENV file exposure. I was able to get all their internal URLs. They had some error logs exposed, one message mentioning 5.5 million payment exposed, but I couldn't be asked to go more in there, and then it went off because I had to go to DEFCON to do that talk, and once I published it, they immediately closed everything. And we are getting to one of the closing the talk. Can anyone tell me what's the issue with all my research? What? Oh, not technically. I break the law. So, yeah, it's kind of a strange situation in Greece because I'm in Greece. So, in there, usually, and by usually I mean usually, they don't force it, but I'm practically breaking the law. And if any of the bad guys go after me, I will have a lot of explaining to do. They will also have to do a lot of explaining, but yeah. All in all, I dislike the word ethical hacker. Everyone is an ethical hacker and have their own ethics. Although I do break the law, I do believe that I'm doing God's work, and I'm, I don't know, a vigilante or Batman, or name it however you want. I went after spyware. I did a talk in BSides London, the Stealer and Botnet on DEFCON 31, ransomware and DEFCON for the past ransomware on the past 2 years, and we are continuing to do that research, going after all the criminals of the internet. Thank you. And if you have any questions, get me after the talk. Or do we have time for questions?
No, we don't. Thank you so much, Vangelis. Really appreciate it.